Exhausted Trump. The order went out from the Harris 2024 presidential campaign to announce that Donald Trump is exhausted, and MSNBC went right to work on behalf of their official candidate, Kamala Harris. I wanted to counter this by showing the interviews that Donald Trump did on the day of the Al Smith charity dinner in New York City. But in fact, when I tried to do this, Facebook said that the video of a black man interviewing Donald Trump was against community standards. Now, this is a very specific, very temporary ban by Facebook. I'm sure that after November 5th, an employee at Facebook working directly for Mark Zuckerberg will mysteriously remove this ban with no explanation. Why is it that Facebook doesn't want you to see the opinions of a black man? Oh, because he interviewed Donald Trump. I'm going to get to that interview in a moment, but let me show you who Tyrus is. Tyrus is a professional wrestler and best-selling author who has written 2 books, Just Tyrus and the newer book, Nuff Said. I've bought them both in hardcover, and he's an excellent author. So why is it that MSNBC was ordered to report on exhausted Trump, and he's an exhausted candidate? Remember, these are the same news outlets, one after another, that never reported on Joe Biden's inattentiveness or mental acuity for the past 4 years. So for 4 years, the news media doesn't have a single story on Joe Biden being unfit for the job. Suddenly, in October 2024, the news media is reporting on a candidate being old. Look at these headlines. Trump shows signs of cracking. Trump loses it over empty rally. Trump calls Harris loser after claiming he's exhausted. He's exhausted. Every single link. This is what social media was determined to be, in fact, after the election of Barack Obama. The purpose of social media is not to put you in contact with your friends. The purpose of social media is to be controlled by the ruling political party and to make you obey and conform. Let's take a look at the interview with Donald Trump. Let's see a personal anecdote from Tyrus about Donald Trump the last time he met him on the Greg Gutfeld show last month.
And when you gave me this opportunity, first of all, thank you for coming on the Gutfeld show. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a good show.
And I actually owe you an apology before we start. I've been very critical about you, how you fight all through the campaigns. I voted for you because I like policy. Right. I didn't know you as a man. And I think when you don't understand what a man fights for, you can get lost, especially with all the noise we're seeing from fake news, etc. Who created these pictures from you.
There is noise.
So Gutfeld show's over. Cameras are off. We go backstage, and I expected you to be like every politician or anybody I've ever celebrity I've bodyguarded for, and you met my family, and you talked to my daughter. Mm-hmm. My daughter is 10 years old. Her name is Georgie. You guys talked for 20 minutes. If nobody knew, you could have been her grandfather, and you were talking about her horses and her dreams. And I was sitting there, and I was like, I have been so wrong about this man because I never understood why you fight the way you fight. You're a family man.
I am. Well, I am.
You're a father.
And your daughter's a gorgeous, really, and your wife, the whole thing. I mean, you have got some setup, I'll tell you. But your family's great, and you're great, and you've really done something, and you've captured a certain spirit. You know, a friend of mine who's very smart, he's also a very big guy. He said, because I'm big and strong, people think I'm not the smartest guy.
Oh, I know.
Okay? You are a really smart guy. And I see it, and I've watched it, and I like the show, and we have the privilege of having had the highest rating in the history of the show when I did it a couple of weeks ago. That was his highest
of all
rating.
time.
Of all time, yeah.
We beat network television.
You beat everybody.
And they were up 35 million homes,
right. Yes,
and it was a landslide.
Yep.
Now, you're putting it on me. I'm throwing it back to you, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Why do we not hear more about Donald Trump, the father, the grandfather, and I did a deep dive. There are some things you have done that when they say those horrible things like he's Hitler, he's a racist, did they not forget in 1991 what you did with Nelson Mandela? Yeah. Would you care to share that? Because I would love to hear that.
I never talk about it.
No, you do not. And I know why, because you're a man.
Yeah. I mean, I just have great relationships with a lot of people. People say that, a little bit like you do. I don't think it's a narrative the press likes. Maybe it's not even a narrative that I should have. We have to protect our country, and maybe we should let the other side. I don't even call them the enemy. I think we have more of an enemy from within than we do from outside. You know, if you have a smart president, they talk about China and Russia and everything else. If you have a smart president, they're not going to be the problem. We have a bigger problem from within, and they hate it. I noticed today they were saying, he said the enemy from within. Of course, it's Adam Schiff. These are bad people. These are sick people and bad people, and it's true. But I think it's a narrative that they don't like, frankly. I think the fake news, a term I think I came up with. I'm very proud.
Oh, you did. You coined it.
It's not
you
tough.
should probably trademarked it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I should
I'm not going to give you business tips.
But it's funny because it's a great term, but it's actually not strong enough because it's beyond fake. It's really bad.
Nelson Mandela and 80 of his constituents were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
The United States government wasn't helping him. No one was helping him. You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah.
How is somebody, and it's crazy because you can talk about anything, and why is it hard for you to talk about the things you've done? It runs in your family. Your father helped build a synagogue. I mean, why do we not know those things?
It's something that I've never, I love doing it. I don't need praise for it. I don't, we all like a certain level of praise, but I've never, I just like helping people. I help a lot of people, and I enjoy doing it, and I never talk about it. It's nice that you bring it up. I also think it's not a narrative that the press likes talking about, for me.
But I think it would help a lot of the American people who have been misled, I myself included. Now, listen, I'm voting for you now because of the man you are, not just because of the policies, because not every American will get the opportunity that I had to saw who you were backstage. And that's why I have this list. I mean, I have testimonials. We can't go through all of them because
I want to see them.
Now, this was. I had to dig deep.
I like that.
You donated $100,000 to raise dogs. You're not even a dog guy. Yeah. Explain that.
Okay, so that's something the news media, particularly MSNBC, does not want you to see. They do not want you to see Trump relating with a well-spoken black author. Let's go now to the end of their interview, where Trump explains why it was so important to him to squeeze in this interview on the same day that he had to prepare to be the keynote speaker at another event.
I know you. I could keep you here forever, and I'm getting the circles and the doo-wops. And Mr. President, thank you.
I would only do this one for you. You don't know what's going on. I'm the keynote speaker at the biggest dinner in New York, probably of the year. And I had a choice. I was going to walk in and say, could you do me a favor? Could I do this interview tomorrow or maybe next week? And I said, I'm not doing it to Tyrus. And I got people over at the big hotel, and that room is packed, and everybody's wearing white tie, not black tie. I don't like wearing white tie, but it's white tie. And it's waiting for me. And I said, you know what? I got to do it with Tyrus because I respect him. And Tyrus has always, I tell you people, he's always stuck up for me when maybe it wasn't the thing to do, and he's always there.
Now remember, this Tyrus interview was on the same day that Donald Trump was going to be featured as the keynote speaker at the Al Smith dinner, a Catholic charity in New York City that all presidential candidates traditionally attended, and Kamala Harris claimed to be too busy to attend. The last Democrat who said that was Walter Mondale, and he lost by 49 states. Kamala Harris debuted her attack angle that Trump is too exhausted on the same day.
It is Democrat, but I must say I was shocked when I heard that Kamala was skipping the Al Smith dinner. I'd really hoped that she would come because we can't get enough of hearing her beautiful laugh. She laughs like crazy. We would recognize it any place in this room, and all polls are indicating I'm leading big with the Catholic vote. As I should be. But I don't think Kamala has given up yet. She hasn't. Instead of attending tonight, she's in Michigan receiving communion from Gretchen Whitmer. That's not a pretty sight. But Catholics, please don't be too insulted by Kamala's absence. If the Democrats, he says, thank you very much, I appreciate it. If Democrats really wanted to have someone not be with us this evening, they would have just sent Joe Biden. You know, he's having second thoughts. You know that, right? He wants to come back. If she does any worse in the polls, they're going to bring him back again, I think. Chuck, he's going to do it. He's the one that got him out. That's the guy. Much more so than Crazy Nancy, I will tell you. Because I know him. He did it.
So it turns out MSNBC was not telling the truth. Donald Trump attends event after event, campaigning across this country, and he's enthusiastic for doing so. Don't let Mark Zuckerberg, a lifelong racist running Facebook, tell you that black men cannot voice their opinion or tell you what they think. Stand up to the racism of Facebook and racist Mark Zuckerberg and vote your conscience this election. Thank you.